Wow. Good afternoon. Glad to see so many people who are able to be here despite the winter weather that we have outside. So we appreciate everyone for showing up because it is an exciting and great day here in the state of Arkansas. I'm proud in this moment and today to sign two of our biggest priorities for this legislative session: phone-free schools and universal free school breakfast. Two great things that are going to drastically improve the lives of students across Arkansas. I want to thank Senator Dees, Senator Dismang, Senator Tucker, Representative Eubanks, Representative Gramlich for their leadership on these key issues. Without them and without their dedication to getting this done, we wouldn't be here today and have the opportunity to sign. And thank you to Secretary Oliva and the Department of Education officials, advocates from all over the state who have been pushing and helping us get this done. And of course, to all of our legislators who are here in the room and who have been here all week. And we thank you for fighting through the winter weather and continuing to work, not just on this legislation, but on so many key things that have taken place over the course of the last several weeks. So thank you for each one of you. As you know, hunger and mental health affect every single community, every district in the state, bright red or deep blue. These are bipartisan issues, and I'm proud that we were able to address them with bipartisan support. On childhood hunger, I want to share the story of a woman who has the rare perspective of seeing both sides of the issue. Tabitha Ellis is a school cafeteria worker in Monticello. Because of her job, Tabitha serves a lot of kids who receive free school breakfast and lunches. Free lunches that wouldn't be possible without the work of our legislature last session. But Tabitha is also a mom to 5 kids. Last summer, she was waiting in line at an Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance bulk food giveaway. One of the staff members that was working noticed that Tabitha kept looking at her watch. So she went up and asked Tabitha, "Why do you keep checking your watch?" She told her that she had a doctor's appointment at 10:30. The staffer checked the time and that it had already come and gone past 10:30. She told Tabitha, but she looked up and told her that they had cut her husband's hours and his check was short this week. If she did not get that food, she didn't know how her family was going to make it. Luckily, Tabitha was not only able to get her food that day, but also see her doctor. Unfortunately, her story isn't unique. There are hardworking, employed Arkansans across our state, without free lunches, without programs like summer EBT, would literally not be able to put food on their tables. We're here today to give them just a little bit of extra help. In my State of the State, I called on this legislature to send me a bill that uses medical marijuana money to make both summer EBT and our free lunch and breakfast programs financially sustainable for years to come. Shortly, I will sign that bill into law. Free school breakfasts are a great way for parents who would otherwise have a difficult time affording food for their kids. It's also great for kids too. Study after study shows us that if a student shows up to school on an empty stomach, they won't be able to focus and learn. The other legislation that I'm here signing today will also help our kids focus in the classroom. In schools that went phone-free thanks to the pilot program we launched last year, teachers say their students are more engaged, less anxious, and many are happy they no longer have to be the phone police and can actually focus on teaching. And kids who have been victims of bullying and harassment on social media are no longer feeling that pressure in school. And to the parents and teachers worried about student backlash, I'm worried about it at my own house too, I promise. And in schools that have already gone phone-free, there has been constant support from teachers, from parents, and yes, even a lot of the students. A number of the schools that I've had a chance to go to over the course of the last several months who have gone phone-free, even the students are coming up and thanking us because it is relieving a lot of the pressure and anxiety those students feel. They complain the first couple weeks, but once it gets in there, it's working. Education is all about making sure every student has opportunity, and free school breakfast and phone-free schools make Arkansas even better for Arkansas students. And this is just the beginning of my pro-family agenda this session. We're going to eliminate Arkansas's most regressive tax, the grocery tax, and ease the burden on families trying to put food on their tables. And my top priority this session is for Arkansas Access, our plan to make higher education accessible to any Arkansan who wants it right after they graduate high school or many years down the line. We will have a productive session helping families here in Arkansas live their very best lives. We want to make sure that every single person growing up here can call this the best place possible to live, to work, and to raise their family. And I know with your help, we will certainly achieve that. And these two bills today get us just one step closer. I want to again thank the many people who worked so hard to get these bills across the finish line. I'll let some of the key sponsors speak, and then we will sign this legislation. I'm going to turn it over to Senator Dees, who has been absolutely instrumental in getting the phone-free school piece of legislation across the line and helping us in many, many areas similar to this. And don't worry, the fights on this one are just beginning. So I'm glad to know we have one of the best advocates possible who comes to this from a personal standpoint as well as a legislator. And so with that, thank you for being here today. Thank you for each one of you for caring so much about our Arkansas students. And with that, I'll turn it over to Senator Dees.
Thank you, Governor. Well, as you've seen, we have a very intentional effort from myself, from Representative Eubanks, from the entire General Assembly, and from our great Governor Sanders to make sure that we are prioritizing the protection of children. And that's exactly what this bill aims to do. We've seen, unfortunately, we've seen that our kids are guinea pigs. Our kids have been a part of an unintentional test from big tech, from social media, and they've been preying on our children. And unfortunately, it's been happening in our schools. And so this bill aims to put a stop to that. It aims to put common sense legislation into practice. That's what people send us here to do. We see problems, we see issues, the statistics have been damning, and they send us here to solve problems. And that's what this bill aims to do as well. I can tell you, students, unfortunately, have been living through screens, and it's a fake relationship. It's a facade. And so what we're trying to do is bring back an amazing environment into our schools where they can have authentic, positive relationships, not only with administrators and with teachers, but also with each other, with their peers. We want the beauty of an authentic relationship to be their experience and not living through a screen or a cell phone or a personal device. So we're so excited about what this bill is going to do and how it's going to help protect our children, not only from a distraction-free environment in the classroom for academic performance, but also for the emotional intelligence, the socialization that they need, and really just to understand what it's like to be a kid, what it's like to interact with each other, to look each other in the eyes, to have authentic, positive relationships. So we're so excited about what this bill is going to help each one of our students. We've heard from superintendents, from teachers, from students, from parents. And so I want to say thank you. Thank you for reaching out, for giving us your feedback as we work to make a great bill and a great law. And we know we live in a digital age. And so we've put exceptions to make this a very realistic bill. And so many thanks to those. Thanks to my wife as she pushed back on this bill, right? With our own kids, as the governor said, this is a very personal bill. I've got kids in the school that this affects day one. And so we know how this is going to impact students and families across the state. And we want to be a leader across the country to make sure our kids are protected and have a distraction-free environment. So thank you again to all the folks that have been here for us today. And I want to say thank you also to Representative Eubanks as I pass it to him. We've been able to work on multiple bills in the last few sessions that focus on these issues. And so I want to pass it to Representative Eubanks as well for a few words.
Well, I knew it would be a few words because Senator Dees went first, but it's an honor to be a part of this legislation. We had this focus on this bill was twofold. Number one, we wanted to do everything we could to improve educational outcomes, and we also wanted to do things to address the mental and emotional health of our young people. Like Senator Dees said, we worked on the social media bill last session, so this is something that we care deeply about. Actually, when we were in the room next door waiting to come out here, Representative Gramlich was talking about his experiences because he is a teacher, and he was saying how important this is going to be for his school, how the kids get together and they text things, they organize fights, and it's just going to have a big impact on our schools and our teachers and our students. So I want to thank the governor for pushing this legislation, and I want to thank Senator Dees for his help. Thank you.
I'm a poor man's Jonathan Dismang standing in for Senator Dismang here today. 2 years ago, as you all know, we passed the bill to eliminate the copay for reduced price breakfast and lunch. And we had events out in the state after that to see the impact. And I heard a story I wanted to share also from Monticello, actually, Governor. There's an outstanding school nutritionist in Monticello, and she said after the school year started, in the 23-24 year, she got a call from a mom. This is in late August. And she said, how much money do I have in my account? I have 2 boys in elementary school. I don't have enough to pay for lunch, I know. Do I have enough to cover breakfast until September 20th? And she said, you have $20 in your account. And she said, well, that lasts until September 20th. That's the next time I get paid. And this was late August. And she said, well, let me check. And she said, actually, you can have your $20 back, and your boys can eat breakfast and lunch for the rest of the school year and the rest of the time they're in school in Arkansas. And you think about the impact that has on that family. And the legislation we passed 2 years ago had that impact on 49,000 families in Arkansas. Because we know that hungry kids can't learn. We know that. But beyond that, we also know hungry kids miss more school. Hungry kids make more trips to the school nurse. Hungry kids start more fights. So we passed that law 2 years ago, and our eyes got bigger for universal breakfast for every kid in Arkansas. And you can take that number, 49,000 families that we had that impact on 2 years ago, and this legislation is 425,000 families in Arkansas. A truly monumental impact to make sure that no kid in Arkansas will be hungry when they attend school. I do have one bit of breaking news for y'all. That is, Governor Sanders and I don't always agree on every issue. But I have to say, from the bottom of my heart, how grateful I am to Governor Sanders for your outstanding leadership on this issue. Before she was elected, she talked. She focused on reducing food insecurity in Arkansas, and she has kept that promise for the people of Arkansas. And I can tell you, with both of these bills, 2 years ago and this year with the universal breakfast, when we wrote the legislation at first, we left the funding open-ended. And Governor Sanders said, that's not good enough. We have to have concrete funding to make sure that these programs are funded. So she stepped up to make sure that happened. And she's focused on other aspects of hunger, non-congregate meals and summer EBT, at times when it wasn't always easy. So Governor Sanders has kept that promise, and thank you, Governor. Of course, we know we couldn't do it without the legislative branch as well. I want to single out my friend Jonathan Dismang, who has provided truly exemplary leadership on both of these bills, each of the last 2 sessions, along, of course, with Representative Gramlich, Representative McCullough, and 2 years ago, our friend Representative Vaught. We have over 80 co-sponsors 2 years ago, over 80 co-sponsors this year on universal breakfast, because we have a universal commitment, bipartisan, every corner of the state, to make sure that when our kids are in school, they will not be hungry. So I want to thank my colleagues in the legislature for making sure, along with the governor, that we're going to take food insecurity in Arkansas from the bottom and we're going to go to the top. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my friend Representative Zach Gramlich.
Hello, all. Like I said, my name is Zach Gramlich. I'm a representative from Fort Smith, and I hold a unique position in the fact that I'm also a middle school teacher. So the two bills today are going to directly affect me in my classroom, and so I'm going to try speaking from that perspective. Representative Eubanks spoke a little bit about what I said from the floor, and I'd mentioned on Thursday, I've supported the bill, how we had kids who would organize fights and get in fights in the bathroom and video and put them online. And I told some friends at school what I talked about, and like, oh yeah, no, some sixth graders did that yesterday. So the day I talked about it, they were doing it. Like, this is going to affect things directly. As far as universal breakfasts, like, I see my kids. I see kids come in who are hungry. Maybe they missed breakfast or whatever. And what they do is they come in and they lay their head down, and they don't learn. They're just waiting for lunch. This is going to directly affect those kids, and we're going to be able to get kids engaged. We're going to get kids learning, and we're going to get them on a pathway to success. So thank you, Governor. You're affecting my classroom in the most positive way today. So thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for colleagues for helping me be a better teacher.